There we go. All of a sudden, OBS doesn't recognize my microphone. Hello, everyone. What I was saying before I was rudely interrupted by my own microphone is that the reason I'm late is because legal documents are always longer than you think they're going to be, especially when you have a lot to say about them, which is the case for tonight. They were so short, I thought I could, I could just wing it. Absolutely not. Hi, everybody. Okay, let me get my shit together here. Thank you for your patience. Although, to be fair, I don't know how patient you actually were. I did not read the chat. We have a lot of things to talk about tonight. Of course, we are going to talk about the H3 Snark mods have issued yet another filing. This apparently brings their side alone up to over 1,800 pages. And they're not supposed to be doing this. Like, they keep filing inappropriate motions and declarations and all this other shit. So we're going to look at the two things that they recently filed. There's definitely some interesting stuff in there. It feels like there has been an adjustment. They are trying something different. So we will look into that. But we also have some crazy stuff at the top of the show. But let's talk about the upcoming schedule first. I like to keep y'all in the loop as things go on. So here is where we are. This is, I forget the Reddit user who made this calendar, but shout out to them. We are in December right now. We are here. So we are officially into the first week with no H3. I hope y'all are doing okay. We will have a show today, obviously. We're here right now. Tomorrow we will have a doubleheader. We are going to do an advent calendar unboxing, the last one of December. And then we will have a members only stream for the next part of Who the F Did I Marry? So both of those will be happening tomorrow night. Then we are off for Christmas Eve and Christmas. And then on the 26th, Liz and I will be making our annual pilgrimage to Michigan, much like Abby and Lena are doing right now, because people from Michigan are insane and they will drive anywhere for any length of time. So we will be driving cross country, not as far as they are. They have a much longer way to go. Ours is like a 14-hour drive, and we do it in a day. So we will have a couple of stops. I'm already planning a couple of like little mini mukbangs, which if you ask, this is so stupid. If you ask the Snarkers on Twitter, apparently my mukbangs are feeder content. I'm not allowed I'm not allowed to claim that people are being fat phobic to me because I am a fat person who likes to try food on camera. Because I'm fat, I'm basically Nikocado avocado eating like everything on a menu, right? Which is definitely not what I do. So yeah, that's their latest stupid thing. Yes, Trisha did mukbangs. Everyone does mukbangs. Yeah, exactly. So I will be making some feeder content on the road. So hopefully you'll tune into that. I think I'm going to make a couple of them will be public, a couple of them will be members only. So I can keep giving the members, all of the fetish content they crave from the girl with the microphone while I'm on the road. It's got to be exhausting to just constantly take everything the wrong way, and spin everything. It's just so stupid. So that'll be the 26th. We'll have a couple little stops that I'll do some streams for. And then the 29th, I have a mukbang planned for when we are in Michigan. So look out for that. Then we'll be off because we will be off the grid, essentially. For New Year's, we visit our friends in Ohio on the drive back. And they live on a farm. So the internet is terrible. And so I will not be doing anything. I will literally be touching grass for those days. Then we'll be home and the January schedule will start up. And we have some fun stuff planned for January. I was just building out the calendar today. First of all, we are going to have the Soapies, which will be an award show, very small, low budget award show, honoring the most fucked up shit you guys tried to say on Discord and got the messages that got blocked. We will have some different categories for that. And then in addition to that, I'm going to be introducing a winter reading challenge that everyone can participate in. More on that in January, but basically it will last from January through to the first day of spring. And we're going to see how much we can read as a community. And there will be, little prizes and things like that along the way. So stay tuned for that. And then also something I want to do in January is learn how to do some new stuff. So I have a couple of things I've been wanting to try. And so once a week, I'm going to try something new and share it with y'all. Probably follow some tutorials to a varying range of success. And we'll see how that goes. So there's a bunch of stuff that we're going to do in January and then, on to February. So I will be here all January long, hopefully taking a little bit of the edge off of H3. In addition to all of that stuff, we will also obviously be continuing with the slop that H3 would have covered, to the best of my ability, and injecting some news here and there where appropriate. So that's January. All right. Let's dive into the first little thing here. I have a little bit of a lesson, a little lesson for our friend Nicholas Diorio. I know I have taught him in the past. I don't think he ever saw it, but I helped him learn how to say something in French. I don't even remember what it is now. Oh, was it Mike Frompier? No, what was it? What did I help Diorio say? It wasn't Guante. I can't remember what it was, but it was a kind of a complicated, bourgeoisie. That's right. Okay. So I tried to teach him how to say bourgeoisie because he said bourgeoisie, right? But today's lesson is on gender, women's studies, feminism, you know, all the super fun stuff that boys love to talk about. So this came up. I was watching one of his videos. I am like so behind on watching other people's slop videos as I make my own. this one's thumbnail is literally new slop. So I was watching it and I just had to stop because I hear this point a lot and I wanted to, you know, just take a minute to talk about it. So here is, hang on, can I just make this a little smaller? Is that good or bad? Is that good or bad? That's fine. Okay. So here is Nicholas asking a question that I hear a lot. Wait, I want to make sure y'all can hear this. Okay, yes. All right, great.
I don't understand why we can't talk about women's looks. You can talk about men's looks every fucking day of the week. It's totally fucking fair. What is this like fucking bullshit where it's like I cannot talk about women's looks. It is bad to insult women's look. I thought the equal rights, equal fights shit was back, dude.
I don't respect you.
What are we talking about here?
Oh no!
Why can I sit here and make fun of iDubbbz and say he looks decrepit and stinky and all this stuff, but I can't say that about Casey Tron?
Piece of shit.
And that's a critique against Ethan too. It's like I don't know why I guess. Why like be a slave to that mentality, right? I understand that you obviously work directly with women and stuff, and you wouldn't want that to be directed towards
What's the
them.
name of the guy?
I mean, okay, let me stop even before we get all the way through it. You shouldn't only care about women because you work with them or are related to them. Like that's just number one. It's you're being a good person if you care about women, and also. The majority of his audience is women, right? So he should care, right? But we can stop it there and just talk about this. So he's basically saying that he feels like there is a double standard, that you can make fun of a man's looks, but you can't make fun of a woman's looks. Of course, you can do whatever you want, but you're definitely going to get blowback if you target women. And the reason is that you men ruined it. It's not something that you should be pissed at women about. The double standard exists because men ruined it. Okay? If men, and I'm talking about men as the system of the patriarchy, if men hadn't built entire nations, entire systems around disenfranchising women, keeping them from voting, from owning property, from having credit cards today, from advancing in their careers, from having abortions, right? If men had not done all of that, if men also didn't literally essay and unalive women at alarming rates, like if this wasn't endemic, right? If so much didn't depend on whether or not men as a whole find women fuckable and pleasing, it would be equal rights, equal fights. We could call each other ugly and it would be an even playing ground, right? An even playing field. You could call me a bitch. I could call you a pussy, right? But the reason these insults exist is because of misogyny, right? They wouldn't be insults if misogyny wasn't real, which was created by men. Because men have been gross and terrible and also like systemically horrible to women, it isn't equal. So to talk about women, about their looks, which women are definitely objectified for and also subjugated for, to do that is punching down. It's not equal. It's punching down. It's the same reason why I, as a white person, I can't say that I can't, shouldn't make fun of how a black person looks or a brown person looks or how they talk, right? Or anything else they can't control, because white people ruined it. After hundreds of years of slavery, followed by Jim Crow, followed by all of the modern day disenfranchisement of people of color, Because a black person can make fun of me and they will get making fun of me. They have systemically much less power than I have, right? So for them, it's punching up. And then making fun of me doesn't change anything. But if a person of color, if I made fun of a person of color, I have the weight of systems, of generations of discrimination behind me. That feels different. The playing field is not level. And so that's why. So it's not something, if you want to be frustrated that you can't call a woman an ugly bitch or whatever, I get it, right? But don't be mad at women, and don't be mad at the men who try to do better. Be mad at the fucking patriarchy. They ruined it. They are the ones ruining your jokes. The patriarchy is the one who is the system that has ruined your jokes about women forever. That's why. That's why it's different. Take of that what you will. That's just the truth. You can keep calling women ugly. Hey, Myron, just the other day at the Turning Point USA thing that we'll get into, Fresh and Fit called a woman a fat effing Jew. So, I mean, you can keep saying it, but that's who you're going to look and sound like. And I appreciate Ethan trying to be better and do better and make jokes that are actually funny. It's just less funny when you're punching down. It just is. It's just how it is. Oh, Lord. Well, I guess speaking of America Fest, we can talk about Nicki Minaj. Oh, God. This was depressing. I think we all knew that Nicki was going down the weird pipeline, right? Like she's sort of telegraphed a couple things lately about supporting MAGA and all this shit. Yes, he called a pregnant woman that, yeah. But this was next level because this isn't just like being a Republican. Showing up to the Erica Kirk worldwide grieving circus tour is like next level. Completely next level. It was so corny, so confusing, right? And somehow her audience, a lot of her audience is still like, whatever, I'm ride or die still, which just doesn't make sense to me. Here is, for me, the most cringeworthy piece of the whole charade. It's when she called JD Vance an assassin in a direct one-on-one interview with the widow of somebody who was assassinated like what, a month ago? Here we go. I have a hard time even watching it. It's so bad.
Amazing role models like the assassin J.D. Vance, our vice president. And when I say that...
Oof, girl, you know you fucked up. You know you fucked up. So basically she was in the middle of saying like, young boys, you have great role models like our handsome president, Donald Trump. And also the assassin, J.D. Vance. First of all, I don't even know what she was going for. Nothing about J.D. Vance is like, to me, strikes out as calculated, methodical, right? And she fucking called him an assassin to the widow of an assassinated person's face. Let's see that again.
And you have amazing role models like the assassin J.D. Vance, our vice president.
She also let that hang too much, because that could have been like, does she think the person who killed Charlie Kirk should be our role model?
And when I say that,
Look at her. She's like, fuck, why did I do that? She's like, why did I do that?
Trust me, there's nothing new under the sun that I have not heard, so you're fine.
Oh my God, girl.
Yes, we did.
This is so uncomfortable. Oh my God.
You have to laugh about it, truly. I have been called every single thing, and you know what? God is so good, you let it roll right off your back. And this is what's so beautiful about this moment.
She is, first of all, Erica Kirk is so nuts. She doesn't give a fuck about her dead husband. This is crazy. It looks like she's running a fucking telethon.
Your back, and this is what's so beautiful about this moment, because if the internet wants to clip it, who cares? I love this woman. She's an amazing woman. She has a soul and a heart for the Lord.
and you have a
Ay, 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 ay. That silence. That silence is so loud. So loud. I mean, what is Nicki doing, right? Like, I think a lot of us are wondering. Apparently, I was just looking to figure out, like, why would she be doing this? And I saw this on Twitter talking about the fact that she's losing a $20 million mansion. Oh, you guys can't even see that. Hang on one sec. All right, there we go. Awfully convenient that Nicki Minaj found her conservative voice right as she's losing a $20 million mansion and her husband needs a pardon. Just like Russell Brand becoming anti-woke right after being accused of sexual assault. It's a grift as old as time. So yeah, there's definitely a reason why she's doing this. From what I've seen, she can't get a pardon for her husband, who is a sex offender, a convicted sex offender. He was convicted, I believe, in 1995. Yeah, attempted rape conviction in 1995. And then he failed to register as a sex offender and got a year of house arrest in 2022. So he's in deep shit. Her brother is also a predator, an alleged predator. Oh no, he's convicted. He is a convicted predator. He is in jail 25 to life for the repeated essay of an 11-year-old girl over 8 months. So that's her husband and her brother. I don't know if she's trying to get a pardon for her brother, but that I think was also a state trial. So I don't know what power Trump has. So maybe she's trying to grift money for this because she's losing this mansion. I want to see what I can find here. Okay, so this says judge plans to force sale of Nicki Minaj's Okay, cool. How do I close this? Okay. $20 million mansion to pay security guard's judgment. Okay, the rapper and her husband were previously ordered to pay a security guard $500,000 for his broken jaw and other damages. Get out of here. Suing the Barbie World rapper and her husband over his alleged backstage assault at a concert in Germany. Who fucking attacked him? Did they attack him? Let's see if it's in here. God damn it. I hate this shit. This paywall shit. Okay, so she's hard up for money. So maybe that's a reason. Let me see if I can find the mansion. Yeah, let me find it. I mean, Okay, Nicki Minaj's house, the glam $19.5 million present she got after turning 40. Ooh, she didn't have it for long. I mean, it doesn't, I mean, so it's in the Hidden Hills area of LA. Are there other pictures or is that it? Is that it? We don't get inside pictures? That's stupid. That's stupid. So that's the house. I mean, to me, maybe there's a lot of property. But I don't know. So is that why she's doing this? Because she's losing this house? I mean, she doesn't have to, she's still going to have tons of money from it. The lawsuit was only $500K. I just want to look up the bodyguard thing and see what else I can find. Okay, a judge is forcing... Okay, here we go. Weidenmuller, who's the bodyguard, sued Minaj and her husband in January 2022, accusing Petty, who is her husband, of attacking him from behind and punching him in the face when Weidenmuller defended a woman he worked with, also a security guard, during an altercation with Minaj at the 2019 concert in Frankfurt. Jesus Christ. So Nicki was fighting a female security guard. Weidenmuller jumped in to diffuse it. And then her husband punched him in the jaw. God, these are fucking garbage people. That is insane. So yeah, whatever the case is, I mean, she is surrounded by dirtbags. She appears to be a dirtbag herself, and she might really be in need of money, which as that tweet says, oh no, that's Andrew Tate. As that tweet says, it's a great time to become a grifter, right? It's a great time to go for that right-wing grift. She gained like 100,000 new followers on Twitter, probably more. And I was like, yeah, but what are her fans saying? She has effectively cut her fans off because her fans were mostly on Instagram. And she deactivated her Instagram 2 months ago in October. Deactivated her Instagram in October. So she's consciously building this right-wing audience in the Twitter echo chamber while cutting off criticism that she would be receiving on Instagram. She just shut her Instagram down. So yeah, people keep talking about the pardon. I don't think either of the cases of her husband or her brother are pardonable. But maybe, who frickin' knows? I thought she got her citizenship. I don't know about her status. Can they just use all their money and build a colony on Mars away from all of us already? I wish, but there's no money there, right? These people, and I mean like the grifters like Russell Brand and these other people that are like magically becoming super right wing because they have no fucking other way to mine for more money. There's no money on Mars. Why would they go to Mars? Her husband, yeah. She has permanent residency. Okay. Maybe there is an immigration situation with a family member or something. I don't know. I don't know what the deal is, why she's doing this. I did see that even after like the Pulse shooting, which was like a horrible shooting at a gay club in Orlando, she was like, I love God and nothing you can say will change how I feel. Like she was not sending love to the queer community after Pulse. She was kind of doubling down on being a piece of shit. So yeah, it's a good day to be a Megan fan. Yep, Megan fan, Cardi fan. I enjoy Cardi's music probably the most out of the three. But I was saying, maybe it was in Discord today, I think it was talking to the mods. I was saying that Nicki and her fan base, the Barbs, are like the blueprint for toxic fandoms online. And I think that their tactics have spread to places like Reddit, Snark communities, right? It's the same kind of like, find people who disagree with us, get their personal information, harass them, get them fired, make them scared. It's like the same kind of insanity on behalf of people that you don't know. Proud to say, just like Hassan, I have never fucked with Nicki either. Yeah, same. Nicki mad at Megan Flaw, yeah. Barbs are the originators of Snark. That's what it feels like, right? Like, it feels like very, very similar stuff. And I think that there is probably a pretty decent Venn diagram of really intense fans of not just Nicki, but other female artists. For some reason, female artists tend to elicit this in people. I don't know what it is. And snarkers. Like, I saw Adam McIntyre being upset about Nicki being at the Turning Point event. And I was like, of course he's a fucking barb. Of course he is. Yeah, Snark has always been here, but it hasn't been this like call CPS, like invading people's personal lives to intimidate them out of having opinions that differ, right? Snark used to just be like, ew, look what she's wearing. That's fucking ugly, right? If that's all that H3 Snark, Leftovers H3 was, okay, you're dumb and pathetic for that. But it's not, that's not where it stops, unfortunately. Yeah, it always kind of stayed online. Exactly. Exactly. So the upside, the upside of the Turning Point USA event, though it was a small thing, it still tickled me. Fresh and Fit got they asses kicked out. They got kicked out of the event, and no one even told them why. So here they are. We got video of both of them getting kicked out, which is great, separately. So here is Myron in his stupid Fresh and Fit shirt, trying to get into the venue, hating from outside the club, and they're not letting him in.
Security is, he's calling nobody because no one's going to help him get in. So I don't know who he thinks he's calling. Yeah, we got 1 security, 2, 3, and the event security.
This is like Hassan trying to get into that VIP event. Was it at the Mamdani party?
And he's calling, I think he's calling like Andrew Tate to help him get in or something.
So he wasn't let in.
Nope, not going to happen, bud. He's like, I'm right here at the corner. Just come get me. No chance.
And I think this is this like his girlfriend here? She was standing next to him outside when he called a woman, a pregnant woman, a fat effing Jew. And she just like laughed. Like, girl, get at it. Get away from him. Why is he dressed like he works at Verizon? So that's Fit, Myron, and here is Coconuts getting actively kicked out of the entire venue.
Yeah.
Thanks for being cool about it, man.
Cool.
Appreciate it.
But did it say what I did or something, or?
No, I got nothing.
Damn. All right. Well, kicked out. Apparently, I don't know why. But yeah.
Gee,
That's crazy,
I wonder
right?
why. So they kicked out the black guys? They kicked the black guys out of Turning Point USA's America Fest.
Nigga, what did I do?
No,
What the
there's
heck?
nothing.
What did I do, bro?
What the fuck? They not gonna listen. You got your names. They have your social medias and everything.
Yeah.
Thanks for being cool about it.
Aha. So they got kicked out, which is amazing. We love to see that. Let's keep the good news flowing while we're here. Alleged rapist and Proud ICE supporter Jake Paul got his lights punched out this weekend. He was fighting Anthony Joshua. Shout out to the UK. And here is the moment it happened. And I said, bing bong, you fuck you, alleged rapist. So here it is. We'll mute it since I don't want to get potentially claimed. Bing! Bong! Woo! Got your ass! Fucking broke his jaw! Hit him with the second one. 2-piece. Jesus Christ. So, yeah, he got his shit absolutely rocked. We love to see it. We love to see it. Also, his face, like, swelled up. I want to see if I could find that. I don't know why I couldn't find it before, but it was an insane picture. Oh, his jaw was broken in 2 places. Oh, shit, we have an updated picture. Oh, my God. Here he is with his jaw literally wired shut. And look at the swelling. And this is days later. I mean, this is after the surgery. This was after the surgery. Here it is. This was before the surgery. Look at this shit. I have never in my life seen something like that. Oh my God, it does look like Fat Love. Oh my God. It's the jolliest he's ever looked. Dude, this is insane. Can't they like drain this thing? It's crazy. So yeah, here's hoping he won't be able to talk very much for a while, thanks to his jaw being wired shut. And on top of this, in addition to Jake Paul getting his little clock cleaned, we also have Andrew Tate getting knocked out. Like, what a beautiful weekend. What a beautiful weekend for men to get what they deserve. Bing bong. Oh, there's music on here. Let me rewind it. You rarely see an uppercut. Uppercut. And right in the face. And right in the chin. Sweet chin music. Let's hug for a while. Let's hug for a while. Oh my God. Bing bong. Yeah, he's holding you up. Let go of him. Yeah. Woo! So yeah, it was a great weekend to be a hater of gross men. Pink glove to the face. Seriously. Uppercut! Please, Nick Fuentes, find yourself in the ring. He would never. He almost lost a fight to an old woman that came to his house and just knocked on his door. So good. So shout out to the boxers. The black men who took these motherfuckers down. They really did us a solid. Okay. Now it's time to, we're going to get into the Snark filing. After that, I'm going to play a video that CBS decided to not play because they are fucking compromised and they are officially censoring their own journalists, their own segments, in order to make Trump look less terrible. But first, let's talk about the Snark mods. Okay, so last time we met, we were talking about, let me just pull up the court listener so I can get the order right. There's like so many different kinds of filings that are hard for me to keep straight, I will say. All right, so last time, all right, everything was quiet. And this is important to mention because everything was quiet for a month, right? November 10th to December 9th, nothing happened. Then December 9th, all of a sudden, a few days after Casey Tron settles, a flurry of documents are filed by the Snarkers. We get administrative motions. Look, you can see November 10th, and then it's crickets. And then December 9th, we get all of these documents, and then we also get another set of documents. Okay. Basically, they were asking for permission to submit a bunch of new evidence, but they just went ahead and submitted it in the actual files anyway, which apparently you're not supposed to do. So then Ethan and Hila responded. And now the Snarkers have responded back. And we're going to get into exactly what happened. So they responded December 9th. Ethan and Hila responded to that response December 15th. And now we have December 18th, the Snarkers reply to their opposition. Reminder that all of this is happening within not the lawsuit against Denims and Casey Tron and Frogan, but the request for a subpoena. Subpoenas to Reddit and Discord. Keep that in mind as we're reading through this stuff, okay? And let me put up my disclaimer here that I am not a lawyer. I am just a stupid bitch with a lot of opinions, okay? But keep in mind that this is all within the subpoena. This is not about copyright infringement or even the mod's contributory infringement. This is just about whether or not Reddit and Discord need to be subpoenaed for the personal information, the names and addresses of these Snark moderators who are mentioned in the lawsuit, right? In order to know who the fuck they are, to include them in this stuff, in these briefings, right? Okay. So like I said, they are entering. There were some texts between Rom and the lawyer for Snark. Where are they? Where did you see that? That's really brave of you. Thank you. Oh, yay!
The ultimate underscore H3 clips bravely gave $2.99. Doing my H3 puzzle as I listen. Big love, everyone.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Shout out to puzzles. Yes, I love puzzles. That's awesome. I'm jealous that you got one. You saw them on Twitter? Okay, yeah, send them along. They do mention something about we'll get into that. But yeah, we'll show those if you do find them. Okay. So what I've been able to surmise from reading this stuff and watching some legal minds and talking to people who know about this case. This submission, the latest submission, the last submission was unauthorized, and this one is like super unauthorized. Like this is not something you are supposed to be doing at this point within this request for a subpoena. You are not supposed to be doing this. And they also spend most of the time arguing the case, and we're not at the case yet, right? We're not in trial. This is literally just for the subpoena. So let's just dive in. Let's get into it here. Obviously, I have copious notes. So this is the first bit. This is the Doe's response. So this is shorter. This was filed. Is this filed by the attorney? So we have the attorney's response to Ethan and Hila's opposition. So basically, Ethan and Hila said, no, they should not be allowed to enter new evidence. Here's why. And now this is the lawyer's response. And then we also have the declaration from the moderators, which is fucking insane. Just wait till you see it. Yeah, we'll get there. But let's start with the actual lawyer's response. So I love that up front, the lawyer is clearly, in my opinion, trying to curry favor with the judge to let them submit this. Doe's respectfully request the court consider this brief response. I don't think they've ever opened a document like that. And the fact that they mentioned right away this brief response as if to be like, don't worry, Your Honor. This is not another massive document. Because you guys remember last time, it was like over 100 pages or something crazy like that, right? And they're up to, just on their side, over 1,800 pages, according to Luss, who has counted. Just the does, just the moderators, have submitted over 1,800 pages, which, and I don't know anything, right, is not normal. This is not normal, especially in a copyright infringement case. This is apparently extremely unorthodox. And what we can tell from Ethan and Hila's lawyers' filings, it's also a lot of the shit that they have put up and filed should have never been filed. Should have never been filed, right? Okay, so I just love that they made sure to highlight that. So let's get into the intro. TEI, which is Teddy Fresh, right? TEI boldly attempts to introduce new evidence, which Doe's had never seen until TEI's filing. Okay, I'm noticing a couple of things here, but let's break it down. First of all, this is literally what they just did. So a lot of this document is them accusing Ethan and Hila and their lawyer. They really try to discredit the lawyer, accusing them of doing things that they literally just did. To which Ethan and Hila merely responded, right? The Snark mods in their last filing, which was just supposed to be a request to file more things, they stuffed all kinds of new shit into it. New arguments, new evidence, because it was mostly about Caseytron. She had just settled. So they introduced all this new shit that has no bearing on whether or not they should be unmasked. Caseytron is not related to that at all. Denims is. Caseytron is not. So they introduced all this fluff, right? Ethan and Neil respond to it, and then the Snarkers are like, how dare you? How dare you respond to our fluff? There's also, to me, it feels like there is different language happening here. First of all, the fact that it is so short compared to the other ones feels like maybe the lawyer got some advice, or maybe there is someone else that's helping now. The length is the brevity of this feels like there's a new tactic happening. But there's also like other choices happening that to me feel like it's a different person writing it. Like the italics, I don't remember seeing a lot of italicized words and phrases in the other filings, at least the more recent ones that I've seen, right? And there's also like a lot of adjectives, descriptors. Like it's feeling like they are pumping up the melodrama, when the last ones felt more like word salad, like trying to get as many words on the page as possible. This feels more brief, but more melodramatic. And they're also like inserting a lot of emphasis. Yeah, the tone sounds very frustrated. Yeah. Very frustrated. And they're just like straight up shitting on Ethan and Hila and also their lawyer. Like it's very, very direct. So it feels like a different approach. I don't know if it's Leah doing it, if there's, like I said, another person that's helping out or what, but here we go. The new evidence which Doe's had never seen. TEI also blatantly and baselessly, okay, lots of adverbs too, accuses Doe's of lying to this court and improperly requests affirmative relief in an opposition. Okay, so they say that they did not introduce any new evidence, right? But then they, right there, point out that Ethan and Hila say they're lying to the court. Because of the evidence they submitted. Straight up because of the doctored, in my opinion, evidence that they submitted. Oh my God. All right. So the descriptors go on. The brazen gamesmanship is disrespectful. Not only to Doe's, but to this court and its rules. And I said, since when do y'all follow this court's rules and filings? Like, y'all are not, to act outraged at this. At another filing coming through after y'all just did the same thing, which necessitated a response. Reminder. Nothing happened for a month. It was y'all that restarted this whole fucking thing after Casey settled. Because you panicked. Nobody was entering new shit. You started it. And the way you did it, sneaking it into, in my opinion again, sneaking it into this administrative motion to ask for more, like to ask for the ability to introduce new evidence, that's fucking sneaky as hell. And it wouldn't have given Ethan and Hila and their lawyer the chance to respond, which, again, you guys are now accusing them of doing. Insanity. Complete insanity. Okay, response. Doe's administrative motion was proper. Then they prove it wasn't proper, literally, in this fucking paragraph. Okay, Doe's administrative motion was proper to request its relief. So the administrative motion is literally was them asking to submit new evidence. Administrative motions are used for miscellaneous matters, not otherwise governed by a federal statute. I am not clear what is miscellaneous about introducing an entirely new set of evidence, entirely new arguments related to Casey Tron and her settlement, entirely new clips, screenshots. That doesn't feel miscellaneous to me. That does not feel miscellaneous to me. Welcome, Bella. Welcome, welcome.
Okay, everyone.
Yeah, so I said, what was miscellaneous about you, the new evidence and arguments you entered? Let's see. LR73 provides that a party cannot submit supplemental material after apply without court approval. So right there, they admit that the law says they are not supposed to add material without court approval. But then look at this shit. Does not specify. Okay, so the law does not specify how to actually get that court approval. This assumption, this like logical leap is crazy to me. Since the law is silent on how to actually request that approval, an administrative motion is the proper method. Based on what? Based on what? You deciding that? Let me make this a little bit smaller so you guys can see it. Since the law doesn't outline, like that's crazy to me. Since the law doesn't outline how we're supposed to ask for court approval, the way I did it is fine. Huh? That precedent they're listing is what Ram and Leah were texting each other over. Oh, interesting. Yeah, shouldn't your lawyer know the process? Yeah, I feel like there's got to be an approved process. But they're literally saying there isn't one. There isn't an established procedure for this. So the motion's a proper method. According to who, girl? Lawyer, this isn't fair because I don't know how to do it. Okay. TEI's reliance on this case is inapposite. This is a word that I just learned. So shout out Leah. I did not know what this word meant. It essentially means inappropriate or out of place. In that case, the Ninth Circuit affirmed the denial of an administrative motion, not because it was an improper vehicle to request augmentation of the record. Okay. This is what an administrative motion is supposed to be. A request to augment the record. But they didn't request augmentation. They just went ahead and augmented it. In the motion, they introduced all the materials that they were asking permission to enter. Like, it feels like this was a way to avoid hearing no. This was a way to kind of make the judge see the evidence instead of letting her say, no, that's not allowed. Right? Just stuffing it all into the actual request. That doesn't feel right. But again, I'm just a stupid bitch. What do I know? What do I know? Let's see, what else? TEI argues that does are attempting to refute an argument TEI had never made. A conspiracy or collusion to coordinate views away from TEI is the entire basis for TEI's claim. Without this, there is no contributory infringement. That's not true, first of all, right? You can have the contributory infringement without collusion at all. The Snarkers posting about the Denim's stream and Casey Tron's and Frogan's, that's the contributory infringement. It's not that you guys were all cooking it up together. That is not required. We'll get into like the criteria for the contributory infringement in a short moment. But also, reminder, because it's easy to forget, this is not about contributory infringement. This is about the subpoena to get them, to make them unanonymous, to unmask them. This is the kind of stuff, according to the legal people I have talked to, this is the kind of stuff that's argued after a subpoena when there's actually like a trial happening or debates happening. This is not what's supposed to be happening now. This is not the time to be talking about like the evidence and all that shit. This is the time to be building the case against you getting unmasked, which you're not really doing. You're not really doing that here. Okay. Further, TEI's belated and irrelevant, again, so many adjectives. Their attempts to manufacture evidence of collusion through unverified statements of unrelated third parties simply show its desperation and lack of evidence. Again, this is where I really notice the word choice and the italics. And it just really feels like it is either a different writer or they're like tacking in a new direction. Ha 100% positive their next defense will be they couldn't have been Snark because they were in the shower. And we all know showering will deactivate the ammonium thioglycolate. That's right. If you've had 2 perms a year for, what was it, like 13 years? Like, God, all right, let's keep going. If TEI wanted to seek leave to file a SIR reply and offer new evidence, it should have filed a motion seeking such relief. The request for the SIR reply, so like, I guess that's like, I remember Ethan and Neela asked for it. They only requested it because of shit you guys entered. Because of the evidence you guys filed. Inappropriately, mind you, right? Because no new stuff was supposed to be filed. But y'all, after a month of nothing, panicked about Casey Tron, it seems. Panicked about her settling and offering to, I guess, help in any way that she could. You panicked about that and you submit this new motion, which kind of necessitates a reply. And they're requesting a chance to reply because the way you entered it cuts off their ability to respond. It's just a continuation of the snark-brained logic of conveniently omitting the actual inciting incident that makes them the guilty party, right? Like, I don't know why they hit me. It's like, because you hit them first. In legal writing, italics are generally reserved for citing laws, statutes, cases, rules. Creative liberties are not welcomed. Yeah, and I've also seen it used where it's like emphasis added, where it's quoting something, right? Where it's like citing. They used it in like the transcripts and things like that, like emphasis added, you know, to sort of like make it pop out. I have not seen it used like this, at least in these documents. But again, I don't have a ton of legal reading experience. All right. Next up. TEI now attempts to introduce, without court permission, evidence which is completely irrelevant. Okay, that's literally what you guys did. But also, what is the irrelevant evidence that they introduced? Because they don't really make that very clear. The entire opposition that they entered was focused on debunking the Snarkers' manipulated evidence, the screenshots that they doctored, the emails and the comments in the live chat. I'm guessing this is the irrelevant claim is about the D'Artois evidence, the D'Artois message to Denims. The only reason they introduced that, though, is to refute the claim made by the Snarkers in their filing that they have had no contact with the Snarker, with the creators. I'm assuming that's what they're talking about, but also the only reason that was introduced is to refute the new argument that the Snarkers entered in an unauthorized way. And again, it doesn't matter if Denims responded. Collusion is not needed for contributory copyright infringement to be proven. So it doesn't fucking matter. Okay. Doe's offered no new substantive argument in support of their motion to quash in their administrative motion. Well, I do agree that it didn't feel substantive because it was bullshit, but there were definitely lengthy new arguments made, specifically about Caseytron and the way things, they believe things unfolded after Caseytron settled, or even like the hostage style video that she had to take. You guys entered so much shit that had nothing to do with any of this. How can they say there was no new argument if they literally entered a bunch of stuff that didn't exist a month ago? Yes, it's new. You have all kinds of transcripts, video clips, all kinds of comment sections, chats, mod mails, all this stuff that didn't exist before. What is that if not new evidence? And what is all of that if not a substantive new argument related to Caseytron in the middle of this subpoena argument, which doesn't make sense? And again, it is basically they're saying that Teddy Fresh or Ethan Anila submitting their opposition precludes the Does from responding, which is literally what they did with their administrative motion. So right now it's just like back and forth. They're both, saying like, we don't have time to respond to this. But reminder, the Snark mods started it when they panicked about the H3 or about the Caseytron settlement. From November 10th to December 9th, there was nothing. Things were quiet. And then all of a sudden, an administrative motion that's just stuffed to the gills with new information. Okay, the court should strike the opposition and evidence in its entirety. TEI's never before seen evidence is not court authorized and shows its clear attempt to get in the last word without allowing the does an opportunity to respond. Again, it's just like repetitive as shit. And this is literally what they did, which prompted Ethan and Neela to respond. D'Artois was never an H3 Snark mod. And I said, from what I've read and learned, it's literally not the time to argue the validity of the evidence. This is not the point of the moment. It's to argue the necessity of the subpoena. So this is like completely unrelated to the subpoena shit that they should be arguing about. And it was only entered because they made a claim, or they made a sweeping statement of, we have never been in contact, H3 Snark mods have never been in contact with any of the creators, right? And so they said, oh, really? Well, what about this? That's the only reason it was entered. So for them to start like picking apart the evidence, not the time to do that. This user was never an H3 Snark mod, and I said, that seems like all the more reason to subpoena Reddit and learn some stuff, because who would know best? And Lust was saying that too, that you can't really trust either side to say this affirmatively, right? Whether or not this person was a Snark mod. We need to see the Reddit information. Because obviously the plaintiff and defendant are both biased, right? Neither D'Artois nor anyone else in these conversations states they are an H3 Snark mod. And my questions were, and I don't know the answer to these, why did D'Artois message her? Do they have a history of messaging each other? It seems weird that a random member of a subreddit would DM a creator to beg them to promote something on a subreddit if they had no prior relationship and or they weren't speaking on behalf of the subreddit. Because they in the clip, or in the message, they were like, we really need you. So who are you speaking on behalf of a subreddit if you're not a moderator? And that's not to say there are, I mean, we know H3 Snark is full of fucking weirdos, right? I am sure that people have messaged Denims demanding things before in an inappropriate way. But it just seems very strange. That seems very strange to me, that someone would reach out about coordinating promotion on the Snark subreddit without being a mod. Because they were like, we want to promote your video or your stream, and we need your help. We, to me, feels like mods, but I think we need to see the information, you know? Woo, thanks for subscribing. Let me move that up out of the way here. Thank you, thank you. All right, let's keep going. This is weird. I don't know where this lives, but D'Artois saying, see, Denim, I'm thriving even if you ignored me. They're a fucking weirdo. I don't know why they said that or where. I kind of want to look that up. But that just seems like a weird thing to say. All right. TEI just expects the court to take at its word that these documents identify communications between an H3 Snark mod and Denims. Okay, and what was your little arts and crafts project about in the last filing, if not to make a judge believe on their face something that isn't true? If not to make a judge believe that the H3 live chat and comment sections were just a nonstop hate fest in order to manufacture what public discourse looked like. Oh, okay, thank you, Habanero. Yay! We got gifted subs. Shout out. Thank you, thank you. Enjoy those gifted memberships, everybody. The very generous Habanero Sriracha is in the building. So yeah, like what?
Always hotter than Nick. That's right.
Again, it's like the pot calling the kettle black. Like this is literally what you guys were doing in your filing. And then the mod mails where the date of the email was separate from the actual content of the email. We have no way to prove that those happened on the actual date you said. They could have happened well before Casey even settled, right? And again, Casey Tron is completely irrelevant to the subpoenas to Reddit and Discord to unmask. Okay. TEI cannot simply keep identifying anonymous users and baselessly accusing, again, more italics,
after party.
of being snark mods in attempts to make a prima facie showing of its claim. This is interesting. Okay. Basically, they're saying they are using that TEI keeps just manufacturing new mods as part of their prima facie showing of a claim of contributory infringement. Here is what I've learned. Prima facie, for the to prove the need for to prove the claim of a contributory infringement, this is what is required in a prima facie showing. Ethan Anila's lawyer needs to prove 3 things.
Do we want to talk about the lesbian tarantulas?
That Denim's infringed copyright on either of the videos or both in question, which was like the countdown video and then actually like the actual content nuke. So they have to prove that Denim's infringed copyright on one of those videos or both. Seems like she did. 2,
Always
that the mods that the mods knew she was going to infringe or create a market substitute. Pretty much proven by them posting that really stupid post of theirs in H3 Snark. And then 3, that the posts on H3 Snark advertise the upcoming infringement.
Girl with a mic, when is she calling in?
So they have to prove that the mods knew it was happening and that they contributed to it. That's all that's needed. They don't need to add new mods to prove that they have enough of a case. It's there, brother. In my opinion, you're already cooked on the prima facie front. If it's really based on those 3 criteria, feels like y'all are cooked. So much about what the Does bring up in their filing seems completely irrelevant. That's because it is, Stacey. That's because it is. They're already arguing like they're at trial when we haven't even gotten through the subpoena shit yet. So there's that. That's all they need to prove to show that this is an actual case worth fighting for or going after, that it's not frivolous. Y'all are cooked, in my ignorant opinion. Okay. TEI continues to conflate any critics with H3 Snark. TEI's evidence about vicious and hateful abuse and harassment TEI allegedly suffered is not relevant. How is the hate and harassment you've allegedly suffered irrelevant or relevant? And by the way, it is relevant because, again, in your filings, you entered that your fear of being attacked is why you should remain masked. And then you showed these really pathetic examples of people attacking you. There's not much. And so Ethan and Hila, in their declaration, showed a ton of examples of what real ridicule looks like. That's why it is relevant. Because in order to remain masked, there is it's like a very stringent set of criteria. And a piece of it is extreme, if there's a fear of extreme ridicule and harassment. I don't think what y'all entered was extreme, but Ethan and Neela showing what has happened to them can give the judge an idea of what extreme really looks like. And I don't think y'all are measuring up to that, in my opinion. So yeah, I definitely think it was necessary for them to show what extreme harassment on the internet actually looks like. Okay, TEI's promises of good faith and non-disclosure are disingenuous. Prove it. Prove that. You can't prove it. You're dumb. TEI has threatened to sue Doe's for harassment and defamation many times, but it knows it cannot because of Section 230 anti-slap. So it formulated a plan to trap Doe's into copyright lawsuits to subpoena their identities. And I said, that's speculation and world building. It's just like a classic talking point that you cannot prove. Honoring TEI's pretext will only create precedent for copycat copyright infringement suits by wealthy and politically powerful to unmask critics, dox them, and bury them in legal filings. And I said, only if they actually commit copyright infringement. That's the only way that they would get buried in copyright lawsuits, is if they did what you guys did, and in my opinion, commit copyright infringement. Not shown. This is a lot of like repetitive stuff. Evidence. Okay, and then that's that. So that is their lawyer's declaration or motion. I don't even know what these are called. This is just like the response. Yeah. This is the response from the lawyer. And now it gets into the actual Does talking in their voices. Section 230 protects the platform, not the posters of the content. Interesting. Okay. Let's get into this one. All right. So right off the bat, we have again just like the melodrama, and this is crazy. And from what I have heard and read and listened to this week as I was going over this stuff, judges don't like this. Judges don't like all of this weird speculation, all of the flowery speech. They are busy people and they want you to get to the fucking point. Plaintiff's improper filing in response to our administrative motion, which was an improper filing, reveals a blatant sense of entitlement, both on the part of the plaintiff and plaintiff's counsel. So just like immediately prejudicial, immediately trying to like discredit everybody. Again, this is just for a subpoena. Nobody is on trial right now. And they are trying to discredit the plaintiff and the plaintiff's lawyer. Oy vey. Okay, the filing reinforces our legitimate concern that plaintiffs intend to use their considerable resources to drag this case out. Y'all are the ones dragging this out. You are the ones that after a month of nothing decided to drop a massive document introducing inappropriately a ton of new shit. You are the ones dragging things out. Also, no one wants to fucking dox you. They just want to have you in the fucking lawsuit because in their mind, you deserve to be there. You deserve to be sued for copyright infringement, for contributory copyright infringement. They need your name and your address to fucking serve you and to sue your ass. You have not proven anywhere in anything that I've seen so far that the H3 community wants to like do any kind of like real in-person extreme harassment. Any contact that you've had, I mean, you can't even prove that it came from anyone in our community. Remember, it is a very narrow, set of criteria for people in a lawsuit to remain anonymous. Because it is our right to transparency and to see all this shit in a lawsuit. They, to me, have not proven beyond a reasonable doubt that they need to stay anonymous for their own personal safety. It's fucking bullshit. But also, yeah, y'all are the ones dragging this case out. You're being stupid. Okay, plaintiff's disregard for procedural rules demonstrates a belief that those rules bind us but not them. This selective approach to legal accountability reflects a broader pattern of TEI's malicious, abusive conduct toward us and other critics. Where? Are you going to say where that is? This has been explicitly demonstrated by the fact that the plaintiff and plaintiff's counsel have both previously disseminated critics' private and identifying information in pleadings relating to our motion to quash. Bitch, where? Now you're saying that Ethan and Hila are disseminating your private information? Or other people's private information? How? Where? You're just going to say that and not fucking prove it? It's so bad. And also, it kind of feels like you're insulting the judge, right? Like the judge has let this go on for too long. That's what it feels like. To me, it feels like you're insulting the judge. A bold move. A bold strategy. Oh, Lord. If, as they now claim, there was no alleged link between us and the creators accused of directly infringing TEI's content, then there was no factual, theoretical, or logical foundation for any allegation of contributory copyright infringement against us. That's not fucking true at all. Collusion is not one of the criteria for proving contributory infringement. You are free to contribute to copyright infringement all on your own. All you have to know is that the infringement is happening, that it is infringement, and that you fucking promote it. There is no fourth criterion of and you talked to the person committing actual infringement behind the scenes. It's not a thing. That's not a piece of it. And again, you're arguing as if you're on trial and you're not yet. Despite unequivocal testimony that we are neither moderators nor participants on our Leftovers H3, are you sure about that? Not even your sock puppet accounts? I find it so hard to believe. This is just opinion. I find it so hard to believe that people who are so obsessive about hating Ethan and Hila, that they not only participated in a sub, but moderated it, could just go cold turkey and not participate in the new version of that sub. My question is, what is wrong with arguing like they're in trial? Is it bad for their case or something? I think it is annoying to the judge. Like, it's not proper procedure. And that is annoying. And it distracts from the actual issues. Like what they're actually supposed to be arguing about. Yeah, prove it. Give us your info. Like, that's what I just don't. That's just my opinion. I feel like there ain't no way they aren't participating in Leftovers H3. And again, that to me feels like an open door that we in Discovery should get to hear about that. get to make you prove that. The snarkers are still posting every hour in their new subreddit. Yeah. But the mods, they need to argue the merit of the case, not the actual case. Yeah, if you're not doing that, then you look like you don't know what the fuck you're doing. I just find it hard to believe. You're not even a couple comments here and there? Really? Just to take the edge off? I fucking doubt it. I fucking doubt it. Okay. Plaintiff persists in misleading the court by merging the two subreddits. What did I say about this? Okay, hang on. On-air conversations on the H3 podcast confirm that Ethan and other employees are fully aware of H3 Snark's inactivity, yet plaintiff persists in misleading the court by merging the two subreddits. Why did I highlight this? I don't remember.
Guante be with you and also
Oh
with
my
you.
gosh.
That's right, Rachel Good
Amen.
1650 just bought Kate new guantes. Always be nice to the judge. Best advice I can give you, fam. Heartsuit emoji. Heartsuit
real.
emoji. Heartsuit emoji.
Yeah, it seems like the best approach is to not question or insult the judge's intelligence, make things very, very easy for them to read, right? Because they're very busy people. Make your arguments very concise and simple. And follow fucking procedure. It exists for a reason. Pretty sure they didn't say that. They said most of the mods from Snark are the same as the ones on Leftovers. Yeah, I don't know, and I would be interested to find out what the tea is on the mods, for sure. Always be nice to judges and chefs in restaurants. That's so true. Yeah, they're saying, no, that's what they're saying here is, yeah, they're saying that they don't participate in the subreddit and that Ethan, I don't know, but I don't know why I left a comment on this and it didn't make sense with what it says. So maybe I just put it on the wrong thing. But yeah, what they're saying is that, Ethan and the lawyers keep acting like Leftovers H3 is the same as H3 Snark, and they say that it's not. Who fucking knows? I can't imagine there isn't some crossover. Right? I mean, these people were so dedicated. And they're still dedicated. I mean, they're fighting. They're still fighting this shit instead of just settling. So who fucking knows? All right. Let's see. Plaintiff's tactics amount to a financially abusive strategy to intimidate anonymous critics rather than a good faith effort to enforce copyright. I keep seeing them say this, but I haven't seen proof in their documents of it from the documents I have read so far. Yeah, we need Discovery to see their participation in Leftovers, and Discovery comes after stuff like this, right? Like they are acting like we're already past all that and into like the trial phase. But yeah, Ethan and the lawyers and shit, they haven't even gotten into Discovery yet. Like this is all just like preamble stuff. Any information they've gotten was like given to them. It was not court ordered, right? Like Denham's handing over the communications with D'Artois was not court ordered. Like she
girl with a mic
did that as I guess as a showing of good faith. I am interested to see if Caseytron has anything to add to this. They cannot provide evidence because D'Artois were never moderators of the H3 Snark subreddit. And I said, again, this is about the subpoena, not who is and isn't a Snark mod. You're not supposed to be arguing the trial yet. We aren't there. Discovery, and this is interesting. Plaintiff admits that in response to Discovery, the single communication Denham's produced is the communication at... However, this person was never a moderator. Discovery hasn't happened yet. Right? from what I'm learning about procedure, discovery has not happened yet. Like I just said, what Denham's handed over, that wasn't discovery, I don't think. Unless that was discovery in like the Denham's case. Oh, they are doing discovery in the Denham's case. Okay, thank you. All right, so this is about discovery in the Denham's case, not in the contributory case. Thank you, thank you. All right, let's keep going. TEI cannot produce any evidence of collusion between Denham's and us because none exists. And I said, collusion doesn't matter. If they can't produce it, it doesn't matter, honestly. Collusion is not part of the criteria for contributory infringement. Based on the actual criteria, it feels like there is at least enough of a case for this to go forward, which means y'all should definitely be unmasked by Discord and Reddit. Because you did all those things, in my opinion. At least there is evidence that can be argued that you did those things, right? The plaintiffs have produced evidence for those things, real evidence. Whether or not it's valid comes later. That's not part of the prima facie, I believe, from what I'm learning. They just have to produce like reasonable evidence to show that this is worth arguing in a court of law. And they have done that. So all the criteria has been met by the plaintiffs for this case to actually move forward. And also, y'all have not proven that you need to remain anonymous in order to be safe. So I think you're going to get unmasked. The case is valid and your reasons for staying anonymous are not. I think that means the subpoenas are going to happen. But we'll see. Plaintiff's expectation that unpaid volunteer moderators, first of all, that's so embarrassing for you. That you were moderating. That you were spending your free time organizing and moderating a community of people just being fucking hateful and cruel. That is such a terrible use of your time. Anyway, plaintiff's expectation that unpaid volunteer moderators omnisciently police every H3 Snark user's online activity is unreasonable and unattainable. What hyperbolic bullshit. That's not a thing that has ever been asserted in anything that I've read here. That feels very world buildy and very like snark coded. Like they fucking wrote that. And by the way, speaking of the Snark moderators, like having the reins here, someone familiar with their lawyer, with that law firm rather, said that happens a lot at that law firm, that they kind of let their clients run the show. So if it feels like snarkers are writing a lot of this, are coming up with a lot of the talking points, your instincts are correct. Because apparently that law firm, that happens a lot. According to my sources. Okay. Plaintiff alleges, without any supporting evidence, that we manipulated. Okay, this is just about like the manipulation of evidence that was submitted. So this is them talking about how they copy pasted little bits of conversations together from the live chat to make it look like it was all one thing. And how the emails, the mod mails, which were so tame, not threatening at all, and definitely not extreme ridicule, how the actual content was separate from the dates. And how the dates could have been manufactured, right? They could have taken them from a different mod mail that was sent recently and stuck it to the top. They could have done that. We don't know. We cropped out and also, yeah, they cropped out all the likes, dislikes, and comments threads, right? We cropped out engagement metrics because they are ultimately irrelevant. Are they? I thought your whole point in the last thing was to show the judge the temperature of public discourse about this as a reason for why you need to remain anonymous, because it's really scary for you guys. Feels like the engagement was the point. The engagement mattered. The engagement was relevant when you made it look like all of the engagement was hateful by mashing together the worst of it, which again, were not bad at all. But then the engagement that didn't matter was the stuff that made the comments you cherry picked look unpopular, right? And negative at times, right? Some of the stuff they highlighted when you looked at the real posts was fucking downvoted. People were not having it. So it's really weird for you to say the engagement was irrelevant. Again, you're assuming that the judge wouldn't want to see that. Why are you limiting information that the judge might want? You're just deciding for her what's relevant and not? That seems very condescending to a judge, I would imagine. I can imagine a judge saying, I will decide if engagement is relevant or not. To me, the engagement is part of the post, right? That's like the whole point. Especially when you say, this is about public discourse. And the nature of public discourse right now is why we deserve to stay anonymous, because we're very scared. We never suggested the mod mail messages we received were from H3 users, but stated that the messages posted in comments reflect a range of user communications that are intended to intimidate, harass, and otherwise pressure us. So if you can't prove that people in our community are the ones who sent you these very tame messages, how is Ethan responsible for that? How is Ethan responsible for this public discourse if you can't even show it was us? They talk throughout these arguments about the environment that Ethan creates, right? The environment of, even if he says don't harass these people, he's really winking at us and we know to go harass them, right? They talk this big game about the climate that he has created on his channel. This climate of harassment. But you can't even tie a single message, a single DM back to us. But you deserve to stay anonymous. Literally, your entire argument is about the environment that Ethan has created among his fan base. And you can't prove it. You had to go and grab comments from Nicholas Diorio's videos. You didn't have enough. Because we're not fucking rotted like you guys are. Of course, there are some assholes in the community who are saying things that they shouldn't be saying, right? But as was evident in the engagement you fucking cropped out, we downvote those people. We don't like them. Unlike in your community where you fucking elevate and celebrate and center people for saying ugly ass shit. That is literally the point of your community. How proud you must be. How proud you must be. Oh, and this is them saying, oh, well, the issue with the mod mail screenshots appear to stem from a formatting error. Okay, Show the full thing. That doesn't make any fucking sense. Converting a Word doc to a PDF, split the emails right between the date and the content. I have never seen a PDF split an image before. Have you guys? Please hold. My cat is going crazy. I have to see if he's stuck somewhere. Little idiot doesn't know how to open a door. Oh. Whoops. Here we are. Okay. And we're back. Pussy break. There was not even the thought of a death threat, and I'm pretty sure they are mandatory on the internet. Exactly. There's nothing. There was nothing. There was nothing. Okay. But yeah, I have literally never seen a PDF's images in a PDF get split because you converted it from a Word doc. That's insane, right? How fucking dumb do they think people are? Show us the process, right? I would be like, if I was the judge, I'd be like, come in the office, show me exactly what you did to make Adobe split an image in half. TEI's baseless accusations about evidence manipulation are theatrical distractions. So now you're saying that the judge is easily distracted? Okay, this is where it gets so stupid, guys. This is where they are now introducing a whole new argument. And the argument is marketing. That this whole thing is just marketing for the H3 podcast. Because nothing attracts people to a podcast like being embroiled in a very boring copyright infringement lawsuit. Theatrical distractions intended to generate interest in the H3 podcast. The lawsuits are a desperate effort to revive a waning show and to stage a PR campaign that gains an illusion of legitimacy by appearing in federal court. What? I have not seen this argument. Maybe it's in there somewhere, but this is my first exposure to this argument. That Ethan's doing all of this to improve his views. Ethan is doing a publicity war. No, he just wants you guys to stop calling him a fucking dog killer and a horrible parent and saying his wife is a baby killer and having them harassed in public and having CPS called to their house. Like, this is not about publicity. This is about getting to the root cause of some really disgusting shit, some really insidious shit that's been happening. To say it's about marketing is fucking crazy. That is crazy. Plaintiff's promises not to disclose, broadcast, or otherwise share identity. So this is about, in the opposition that Ethan and Neil filed, they laid out a bunch of conditions whereby they could be essentially fined by the court. And one of them was, if we abuse the personal information of these moderators, they can sue us and we will pay the legal fees or whatever. But now they're saying, yeah, they say that, but we don't trust them. That's not a valid argument. Their extensive documented history of threatening and harassing us and inciting others to do so as well. You have not proven that at all. Where? Where have you proven that? Like literally, where is it? We never suggested the mob mail messages we received were from H3 production users. Not even a full page ago, you said that H3 fans were not necessarily the people who were harassing you. So who exactly is he inciting? Where is this extensive documented history? And if it was so obvious and there was just so much evidence that this is the kind of person Ethan is, and these are the fans that he has curated, why did you have to lie and say some of the comments were from a different creator's videos? Which, by the way, they don't mention in here. They don't mention that they used Nicholas Diorio's comment section to supplement the YouTube comments that they pulled from H3 videos. That's not mentioned anywhere in here. They talk about the mod mail. They talk about... Do they even talk about the... Maybe they do talk about the other one. I feel like they do. Let me see here. Okay, manipulated evidence. Okay, so they talk about the cropping out of engagement metrics. They don't talk about how they copy pasted all of the greatest hits together to make it look like it was one continuous live chat feed. They don't talk about that in here. And they don't talk about using comments from Nicholas Diorio videos. Very interesting that they leave those two things out. Very, very interesting. And this is just crazy. That now this whole thing is just an ad campaign. There are much better ways to try to get more fans than dumping millions into lawsuits. Crazy, crazy, crazy world building. Okay. During the initial meet and confer before we filed the instant motion to quash, plaintiff's counsel offered to our counsel assurances that the litigation would proceed civilly. Have y'all proceeded civilly? Literally ever? And including in this lawsuit? No. Look at all the shit you guys are saying in here. At the time of our meeting, Ethan was live on the H3 podcast, issuing threats to feast on the ashes of our ruined lives, gloating about the exorbitant costs of fighting these subpoenas, declaring that financially ruining us is his dream come true, and mocking us for retaining counsel. What is the context of these comments is what I would like to know, because I don't know them. I am certain there was a reason that he was saying that shit. It's also, what's issuing threats to feast on the ashes of our ruined lives? Like, that's just fucking obvious hyperbole, right? They all understand hyperbole when it's coming from people they respect, right? Wait, is this the filing new since last week? Yes. Yes, this was just... no, this is from the 18th, so it was the end of last week. I just didn't have a chance to talk about it yet. I just wondered why he was talking like that. I would need to see it in context. The dissonance of formal assurances with on-the-record threats undermines any credibility they might claim, and reinforces the conclusion that litigation is being used as a tool of harassment rather than a genuine effort. Okay, all of these on-the-record threats, where are his threats to dox you if you're unmasked? Because again, reminder, I know we're out in La La Land right now, but this is supposed to be germane to the subpoena to Reddit and Discord to unmask these people. None of this is talking really about whether or not these people deserve to remain anonymous, right? They're arguing the case. They're picking apart Ethan and Hila's response to their filing, their motion, their administrative motion, which was unauthorized and inappropriate. And now they're filing yet another unauthorized, inappropriate motion or declaration, demanding that the judge strike everything that Ethan and Hila said. Let's see. Oh, here we go. This is when he goes right. They go right after Ram specifically. He's shown a disregard for protecting the private and identifying information of others. He has erroneously attributed posts attacking him in his professional capacity to us and H3 Snark. Ignored our sworn declarations that we have never posted on or moderated leftovers H3, and threatened a former H3 Snark user with litigation unless they surrendered every piece of information they possessed about us. I have not seen that, but I would love to know why that happened. And if it happened the way they said, because they have been fucking lying throughout this. Absolutely lying. We believe the record shows that only a complete quash of the subpoenas can protect us, our loved ones, associates, and peers. No one gives a fuck. This is all because you guys know how snarkers move. It's Snark that goes after people's loved ones. It's Snark that goes after people's jobs, their families, their friends, right? That's y'all. That's how you fucking move. That's not how we move. We just want to fucking laugh at you because you're stupid and pathetic for being this involved in something you hate, that you get fucking sued over it. That is dumb behavior. Irreparable and measurable harm, like traumatizing children with a CPS visit. That's not how we move. No one here gives a fuck what you do, where you work, who your loved ones are. No, we just think you're fucking stupid. I have no interest in actually knowing any personal information about these people, but I do think that they deserve to be sued. And in order to be sued, they need your name and fucking address. And not at any point have these people proven that they deserve to remain anonymous, right? Based on the very limited criteria that exists to protect that level of anonymity. Like, the public's right to know who is named in lawsuits outweighs their request to remain anonymous unless they are genuinely in danger. And these people are not. They aren't. And if they think they are, they have not fucking proven it at all. Being afraid the internet is going to clown you is not part of the criteria for remaining masked. And if you get clowned on for, again, nurturing a community in your free time that is dedicated to hating something, you deserve to be clowned on, especially if doing so got you exposed to committing copyright infringement. You're just fucking stupid. Our fears that unmasking would release an overwhelming wave of hostility onto us, our families, friends, colleagues, classmates, and broader social networks. Like, just really hitting the melodrama way too hard. I can't imagine a judge is going to like all this poor me shit. Like, this plays on social media, right? This plays on Twitter. This plays on Reddit. It's not going to play with a judge. Because you have not shown proof that there would be an overwhelming wave. In my opinion, right? His interest in revealing who we are coupled with a disregard for the safety, security, and privacy of private citizens, oh, fucking brother, comes across as an eagerness to help the plaintiff mobilize an online mob against us. So this is about the lawyer. Again, now they're saying that the lawyer has a vested interest, a personal interest in inciting a mob against these people. Going after the opposing counsel is insane. Especially when we're not at trial. This is not about discrediting people. You're fighting the wrong shit. Plaintiffs' assurances that they will tell their fan base not to harass or dox us are unconvincing and expose a willful blindness toward the attacks carried out by their followers, supporters, and allies. Show us the attacks. You have not been able to attribute anything to people in the H3H3 Productions subreddit or any H3 fans. Not a single thing. What are these horrendous attacks? You can't even show a single death threat and attribute it to anyone related to H3. Right? Your mod mails were so fucking tame. Also, this shit saying, oh, this enables an audience and allies to target perceived enemies of the show. Girl, shut up. Y'all have never been named enemy of the show. Enemy of the show is an ironic term for people like Jay Shetty. It's not actual enemies of the show. Enemy of the show, that is such a stupid fucking thing to say. So dumb. So fucking stupid. They really are trying to make it sound like enemy of the show is a serious term. Because that's the shit that they do. That's the shit that they do. All right, next up. Yeah, like they are never referred to as enemy of the show. It's stupid. Okay, manufacturing consent, of course, that's like such an online leftist term. Plaintiff has leveraged their massive online platform to manufacture consent to and incite others to harass, cyberstalk, and dox us for moderating a subreddit where former fans critiqued and aired grievances. Like, we have seen the evidence now. Like, I am not somebody who goes to the Snark subreddit literally ever, right? But we have seen, after the last filing by Ethan and Neela, we have seen the evidence now. Y'all were not just critiquing and airing grievances. You were being fucking disgusting. Absolutely disgusting. You guys were not just providing critique. And I hope, honestly, that deep down you feel some kind of sense of shame, right? Like that there's something in you that knows that what you were doing was not just airing grievances. Even as you're lying on paper. And this is fucking hilarious. At its core, these suits aim to assign the weight of contributory copyright infringement for sharing lawful links to criticism. Girl, they're only lawful if they're not committing copyright. But there you are admitting that you shared links to people who were verbally confirming that they were creating a market substitute. It is not up to you to decide that those were lawful links. I mean, you can say that they are. Lawful links to criticism. And here we go with the melodrama again. A sycophantic audience by threatening the lives and livelihoods of ordinary private individuals. Bitch, where? Where is your livelihood and your life being fucking threatened by anybody in this community? It's not. It's not. Predatory, overbroad subpoenas. So this is what they want. They want the court to quash the predatory, overbroad subpoenas in their entirety. So this is the only time that they really even mention that this is about a subpoena. You probably should have just skipped to this or not filed this at all. Look at this. We did not intend to file this brief. You shouldn't have. Nor do we wish to continue a costly back and forth with a plaintiff who has openly stated an intent to inflict financial harm on us. You started this back and forth. There was a month of silence. And then you panicked because Casey Tron settled. You started this costly back and forth. You are the ones who have filed over 1,800 pages. I can't imagine what that costs in legal fees. And you did this. This is just so immature, and it's just so snark coded to be like, as an example, that's not in this, but just to be like, you're a pedophile, and I get the last word. Do you know what I mean? Like accusing someone of something and then being like, but I don't want to litigate this. You decided to litigate it, so let's fucking litigate. Hold the plaintiff accountable for the financial damages already incurred and affirm its duty to protect the civil liberties and First Amendment rights of not only us, but of all online critics. So brave. So a reminder that this is a completely unauthorized response. This is not allowed. What they did is not allowed. It's also very emotional and hyperbolic and tries to smear the credibility of not just Ethan and Hila, but also their lawyer, which is so weird. I don't know if that's normal, but I feel like it's not. And all of that to me feels like the judge is not going to like it. And again, none of it except for that last bullet point goes to the subpoena at all. Mentions it at all. Oh my gosh, Sriracha, you're so kind. Thank you, thank you, thank you. The whole thing is just character assassination. It's just trying to discredit the plaintiff and the plaintiff's counsel, which is probably something better used at trial, I guess.
We want to talk about the lesbian tarantulas.
But either way, it's fucking weird. So just remember, they weren't allowed to do this. They also weren't allowed to file their previous motion. The one that they filed after a month of nothing. The one that kicked off this costly back and forth that they are crying about now.
When is she calling in?
Like, oh, I'm being financially abused. You're financially abusing yourself at this point. You've started this. And remember, to remain anonymous, which is what this is about. They are fighting to stay anonymous, despite what their entire filing says. They need to be able to show a tangible threat to their safety or extreme, like the threat of extreme ridicule and embarrassment. Extreme. They have not shown that there is a credible threat to their safety. And as for
Girl with a
extreme
mic,
ridicule
when
and
is she calling
embarrassment,
in?
I feel like they have not shown that either. There's ridicule. I think they deserve to be ridiculed. But is it extreme? I don't think so. That is the very narrow criteria. And they have not in any of this proven that there is a credible threat to them. Oof, we do not have time for this CBS stuff. I'm going to have to do that tomorrow.
Always hotter than Nick. That's right.
I'm so glad we got all these new members tonight. Thank you, Habanero. Thank you so much. So that's it. That's the latest from the Snark moderators. The filings were shorter.
Do we want to talk about the
Ridicule
lesbian
falls under free speech. Exactly. Protected free speech. Like, you can do whatever you want, but you are not protected from people responding to it. Oh my God. Thank you so much, Habanero. You're incredible. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Welcome to all of the new membies.
Do we want to talk about the lesbian tarantulas?
Does this stuff feel clear? I'm trying to keep things as clear as possible as I go through these, with the knowledge that obviously I am a stupid bitch with a lot of opinions. Thank you, Habanero. Look at all these new men.
At the after party.
Welcome, welcome, welcome. Thank you. As clear as this shit show can be. Thank you. That's good. I clearly understand that the filing is not clear at all. Yeah, I mean, and that's the thing. Like, even though it's shorter, like, I went into it thinking, like, oh, maybe this will be, like,
Mike, when is she calling in?
a little bit easier to grasp, but they really did not stay focused at all. Like, this was, again, just them being like, poor me, Ethan's mean. It's like, him being mean to you, him enjoying this is not grounds for you to stay anonymous. You have not proven.
Talk about the lesbian tarantulas.
You have not proven a tangible threat against you. You have not proven that you will be the victim of extreme ridicule and embarrassment. Just the normal kind, which I believe you deserve. Justice, so scary.
Go gay, everyone.
Don't forget to connect your YouTube account to Discord. Yes. Join the Discord. The Discord. Come on over. And everybody's welcome on the Discord, by the way. It's open to the public. And then there are some private channels just for members where I like to hang out and like chit chat.
Always hotter than Nick. That's right.
Ironically, they've been also trying to claim this whole time that all they've ever done is just be mean to Ethan. Exactly. But they don't deserve it. They should be protected from harassment. What? We're just critiquing you guys. We're just offering criticism.
Girl with a mic, when is she calling in?
Oy vey. Oh, Breeze Mansker, have you looked, have you turned on the ability to get gifted subs? Maybe something got updated and it got turned off. Mean to thee, but not to me. Absolutely.
Girl with a mic, when is she calling in?
All right. Thank you, everybody. I need to go to bed. I will be back tomorrow. We will talk about the 60-minute stuff that's happening. We're going to do a National Geographic Advent calendar, as much of it as we can. And then there will be, for all these new members, the latest edition of Who the Fuck Did I Marry? So you should go get caught up, watch all of the past videos, so you are ready for the latest installment of Who the Fuck Did I Marry? Okay, y'all? Thank you so much, Habanero. You are the MVP tonight.
Girl with a mic. When
I
is she
appreciate
calling
everyone
in?
being here. I'll see you tomorrow night. Bye, babies. Go gay, everyone.